Good day, Darlington County School District, and welcome back to another In the Know. And it is the end of October. We are deep into fall. You can feel the crisp evenings. You can tell that the windows are open now more than what they were earlier. And of course, Friday night football has been going on for a while too. So definitely that fall feel. And of course, coming up soon, we are into November and December, which is our holiday season. And the first week of November, the first weekend of November, is daylight savings time. So we will be falling back, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So again, that's kind of the true sign that we are in fall. And I'm glad to be able to have the time to be able to share with you some of the things that have been going on in the district over the past couple weeks. First and foremost, we had a work session this past Monday. And the primary topic of the work session had to do with, of course, the tragedy that we had with a student being shot at our adult education center in Darlington. And just a debrief on what happened that day, as well as meetings that we've had since, and some information you may even be aware of, because we've had meetings with principals, we've had meetings with law enforcement, and of course, anytime a situation happens like what we've gone through recently, we're able to reevaluate what our current practices and protocols are, and we want to make sure that we improve. So I will say a lot went right on that day as far as those schools that were impacted, those schools that had to go on lockdown or secure or hold, how the adults handled everything in the buildings. You all did an excellent job with our students, and our students did a good job too. We actually had a reunification. I know many of you all have already participated in reunification drills, and so that actual reunification with the DCIS students and staff went off great. And again, those drills helped us prepare for the reality of what we faced on that day. One of the things that we have initiated since that day, met with principals and had good conversations about what our Raptor system looks like. I think since then, many of you all have had Raptor training, or Raptor training has taken place in your buildings as far as that system and the use of the system, the terminology we use. For example, in Raptor, what we use for lockdown means lights out, all doors locked inside and outside, students and staff away from doors and under desks. That's what the lockdown is. Secure is actually where outside doors are locked, but business goes on as usual inside the building. That's called secure. And then of course, hold is where outside doors are locked, inside doors are locked, but everything still continues in the classrooms at normal as well. So we had a chance to really talk through that terminology, because I think there was some confusion about that we learned from that day. And then also just talking with law enforcement about ways that we can improve not only our response to what happened that day, but also on our campuses. So we've asked all of our principals to assess currently what their camera situations are at the buildings, what the card access situation is, fencing that is on our properties, and then any other security concerns that may be at a particular school or building. And so we have collected all that information. We're actually going back and meeting with the principals and their staff, their SROs, and going through the list. We'll be prioritizing this for each building by category, and then we'll be going back to talk to the board about it about those immediate needs, those immediate priorities, because of course everything has a price tag attached to it. But I think everybody is in agreement that we are willing to spend the money we need to make our campuses safe. I know there are some bigger issues with some of our campuses as far as older buildings and them being open, and those are a little bit more difficult to address short term because the amount of money involved with renovations or replacement buildings. But certainly it brings all of that back to light as we look at how to make our schools and our campuses as safe and secure as possible for you, for our students, and confidence in our parents and community that they're safe spaces for all. We also had some capital projects discussions. Again, remember, capital projects, different pot of money. Those are long-term projects that we work with each year in putting those lists together. And so, for example, we've talked about football fields and changing those over from grass to turf, and so we've had several conversations about that in previous meetings. We discussed that more at length with our work session with the board, and again, more information will be discussed in future meetings as well. So we're just trying to figure out what the path forward is on turf football fields and potentially other turf on our athletic campuses as well. We also discussed our Brunson-Dargan location, which of course when we built our new J.L. Cain Elementary School, that combined J.L. Cain and Brunson-Dargan. The Brunson-Dargan building has been vacant since then. It's been 3 years. It's been over 3 years actually that building has been vacant. And so the board has made the decision and taken the administration's recommendation to demolish that building so we can prevent, for example, people accessing the building, squatters, vandalism. You know, again, the longer a building sits, it becomes a bigger problem, and we don't want that for our community. So we will be having a demolition of that building in the very near future, and so we had that update for the board as well. We also talked about, of course, the reiteration of the e-learning day on November 7th. So again, November 7th is Election Day. Many of our school locations are used as voting precincts, and I am not comfortable at all having the general public come on to our campuses when our students are present and our staff are present. So we have made November 7th an e-learning day. What does that mean for everybody? Well, we treat it exactly like a weather day. So if everything iced over that day, what would that look like? And that would mean nobody would be in our buildings and nobody would be in our schools. And so all district buildings and schools will be closed that day for students and for staff. Of course, we have our e-learning protocols that we have where our teachers have office hours that they can assist students. And of course, our schools and teachers will be working with our students prior to November 7th about activities and assignments that will be due when students return from e-learning. And so again, just preparing for that e-learning day, we've gotten pretty good at that over the past couple years. And that was primarily everything that was discussed at the work session. Again, our next regular board meeting is November 13th. And so that's when we will have some student recognitions and other items, and of course our live stream that we have every month. By the way, all of our regular board meetings are available for viewing even after the board meeting on our website. So they are recorded. They're available live at the time, but then they're also recorded where anybody can access those regular board meetings. All you have to do is go to the school district website. Another item that I'm really excited about that we were able to send out media releases on is our school report cards. And again, this has been a big buzz around the state, but certainly in the Darlington County School District, because we saw some great gains across many of our schools. And so one of the highlights, of course, of the report cards is 15 out of 17 of our schools had more points, more total points for the report card than they did last year. And so again, that's improvement. That's improvement on 15 of the 17 report cards that were out for our high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. We increased the amount of excellent schools that we have in the district, as well as the amount of good schools that we have. So for example, our 4 excellent schools are Carolina Elementary School, Lamar Spalding Elementary School, Lamar High School, and Mayo High School. Those were our 4 excellent schools that we had. We also had 4 good schools, and those are Bay Road Elementary, Darlington Middle School, Hartsville Middle School, and Spalding Middle School. So we increased excellent schools by 1 over last year. We increased good schools by 1 over last year. We no longer have an unsatisfactory school, so Thornwell came away from unsatisfactory, and so we were glad to see that as well. And so just a lot of good celebration of the hard work that continues to happen in our classrooms, directly related to our teachers and the jobs that they're doing with our students, but as well as our teaching assistants and our staff that's in the buildings. It's a collective team effort in order to move all of our students forward. Also, one of the big parts about the report card, of course, is there's the achievement. The report card has several different factors that receive points. The 2 biggest areas are achievement and growth. And the growth area, we also had a lot of gains in. Many of our schools got a lot of points for their growth, so it was exciting to see that as well. And I always tell people, you know, our goal, we're working towards at least the averages for the state. That is always a goal that I've had, is to get to the state average, and then right after that start moving beyond that. And of course that has to do with achievement. That has to do with the meets and exceeds on SC Ready, as well as our end of course tests. But you can't improve achievement if you're not growing. And so the growth is the confirmation that we're moving in the right direction. Again, we know we've got work to do, we know what our goals are, but the growth is confirmation that we are starting to move closer to those goals. And so I was very glad to see that. Again, for example, we had, versus the state, our school district in the progress percentage points gained, we were at 64.2% versus 51.1% for the state. And so our district did extremely well on growing the students in front of us. What do those progress points and percentages mean? It means our students and how they grew, how much they grew compared to other students that scored the same as them on the test last year. So basically like and like together, and then how did we do with our students? How much did they grow compared to other students that scored the same? And our students grew a lot. They grew a lot more than the state average did. So again, it's encouraging news. It's confirmation that what we're doing in the classrooms is working. Our focus on individualized instruction, differentiated instruction, small group instruction, how we are assessing our students, focused on priority standards, our PLCs where we're discussing our student information on a regular basis. All of these things that we are doing as a school district together are the reason why we're starting to see these gains. So I look forward to seeing what happens at the end of this year as well, because it's a snowball effect. It will continue to grow, and I have great confidence in what that will look like at the end of the school year. One other note on the report cards is college or career ready is a metric that's on the district report card. And I'm very, very proud to say that the Darlington County School District is in the top 10 districts in the state for our college or career ready students and percent of students, percent of those seniors that graduate in that cohort. So we have 75.1% of our senior cohort that are college or career ready. That's 8th in the state. So that is a great, great number to show that we are preparing students for what happens when they walk across the stage. Of course, a lot of that has to do with our career ready initiatives, DCIT, and Mr. Smith and what he is doing with our students and certifications and all the programs, the instructors that are in that building. We have a very strong career and technology program in the Darlington County School District, and that's a big part of Career Ready, but also other ways for students to be college or career ready. For example, our internship, our Key to Career program, that is also a big reason why we have significant amounts of our students that are career ready. So again, we always have work to do. College ready, of course, we certainly would like to see more of our students become college ready. But when we're talking about metrics that we're compared against other districts across the state, I feel very good about our college or career ready measures and being top 10 in the state. The next thing I'd like to talk a little bit about is kind of wrapping up some of the items that are going on at the end of October. We've got our last regular season football games, and before I talk about those last couple games, I do want to say all 3 of the Darlington County School District football teams won last weekend. And I can tell you, since I've been here in 5.5+ years, I've rarely been able to say that. And I know they're excited. I know their fans are excited. I know their players and parents. It just adds a sense of excitement in the community when our football teams are winning. We have 2 football games left this week. We've got Darlington High School has homecoming, and they're also celebrating senior night with their football team and cheerleaders as well. And remember, that's a 6:30 start for the Darlington High School homecoming game at Darlington High School. And then also Hartsville High School has a home game. They're actually playing Wilson from over in Florence, and so that is Friday night at Hartsville High School. And Lamar High School is off this week, but they're off this week after clinching the region last week. They are region champs. And congratulations goes out to the Lamar Silver Foxes on being region champs. They are off this week and they get to wait for their opponent in the playoffs. So again, congratulations to all of our football teams this season. I would say great progress has been made in all 3 programs. And we are just excited about our student athletes being able to participate and have success at that. Again, thank you to all of our coaches and all of our adults that are associated with those programs that are helping our student athletes, our cheerleaders, our cheerleading coaches, our bands. Oh my gosh, our bands and the job that they've done at halftime and adding to that whole experience of Friday night football games. It's been a wonderful fall football season. We'll look forward to playoffs coming up shortly. Another item I have on my list is it is National Principals Month, and I have highlighted this in a few emails that I've sent out. Also in just communications that I've had. I know many of you in your schools have also highlighted National Principals Month, but let me say again one more time, thank you for all of our principals and your leadership and the job that you are doing to lead your teachers, your staff, but most importantly, staying focused on your students and making sure that student success is at the forefront in any way that that looks like for all of our students. So thank you, principals, for National Principals Month. And then, of course, Orange Frog. So we are coming up on November, and the Orange Frog Challenge for November is Orange Family. And this primarily ties to Thanksgiving and what that is like for the holiday of Thanksgiving and giving back, being around family, but also recognizing that many of our students don't have a lot to be able to celebrate at Thanksgiving, and so being able to provide some opportunities for our students in our community to give back so it can be a holiday of joy for our students instead of something that they don't look forward to. So again, Orange Family, I know your Orange Frog committees at each building are working on events and tasks that they can celebrate this internally in the school with your school family, but also externally with our students' families and our community. And that wraps up another In the Know. As I always say, hug on your family. Tell them how much you care about them and love them. Tell them how much we appreciate them sharing you with us. And I will see you on the next